Welcome back. Sunrise moves on now, and we're going to be assessing election tribunals in Nigeria. The way that cases go to the tribunals after elections, one wonders if it's actually possible to have free and fair, credible elections in Nigeria.
Rancor-free.
I mean, sometimes, yes, the cases are thrown out, but the point is that the cases still always end up at the tribunal. To look at this with us this morning, it's my pleasure to welcome a legal practitioner, Mr. Okwe Banwo.
Thank you.
Also with us is the former chairman of the Akwa Ibom State PDP, Mr. Otu Ita Toyo. Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. Let me start with you, because he's a lawyer, so he has vested interests. He's part of the people we're talking about.
Now get the brief.
Okay.
So to your mind, Mr. Toyo, how are the tribunals performing, to your mind?
It's so widespread that really to put a handle on it, it's probably best left to the professionals. But at citizens level, I suspect that all we can say is that the tribunals, being Nigerian institutions, could not have escaped our national malaise, which means that until we all bed down and build a different culture, we would expect basically not quite up to scratch performances from our hospitals, from our tribunals, and stuff like that. Maybe I should stop there or go on to address what you said earlier about the way cases go to the tribunals. So, and that's the key point really from a political practitioner's point of view. Because we are unfair on the tribunals, largely because we hand them very bad products. And the tribunals have to grapple with it. And the important thing is that the electoral process is usually subverted largely by the practitioners, who now have they're on two sides. One is if you have the muzzle, you have the muzzle here means money, command of thugs and miscreants, and you can snatch ballot papers, you do stuff, and then you go and then you announce results because you're a muscular man. And then you say, okay, go to the tribunal. What do you want the tribunal to do, really?
Exactly.
Because if you look at elections elsewhere, where men are men, where people are people, you don't need tribunals. Because in the very first instance, the electoral process is conducted fairly, transparently. You know, and
so everyone accepts the results.
Oh yes, and I've seen examples of that, even in this country.
Okay.
You know.
Now, Mr. Banwo, I said I was going to leave you, I'd let him talk first, because you're a lawyer, and some people say that you are part of the problem.
What did lawyers do to you? What did you do?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Yes.
But it's been suggested that some cases go to the tribunal and things happen. And obvious misdemeanors are waved aside because monies have exchanged hands, and the obvious suddenly becomes the obscure.
Well, with all due respect, I think it's important for us to clarify for Nigerians exactly what is going on. Forget the sentiments. Number one, you had said earlier that is it possible to have a free and fair election in Nigeria? Yes, it is possible. Yes, we have had some. Yes, we have had a lot of election cases that have not gone to tribunal. President Jonathan Goodluck conceded. It didn't go to tribunal. Fayemi in Ekiti conceded. It didn't go to tribunal. So I don't buy the doom and gloom that we can't have a free and fair. We can. And number two, yes, by the very nature of elections, it is very highly contested, Nigeria more so. you need tribunals. So I don't agree with him that we don't need tribunals. Even in the U.S., we all were all witnesses how the Al Gore and the George Bush election went all the way.
We didn't need them. No, he
said we won't need them if everybody
if the practitioners, the politicians behave themselves. That's what he said.
Well, they can behave themselves and there can still be irregularities. Okay, even in Al Gore and George Bush, they behaved themselves, but they went all the way to Supreme Court. So my point is the reason why you have tribunal is somebody feels aggrieved. For instance, if you were to look at some of the specific cases, and by the way, I'm one of the I may be a lawyer, but I'm one of the biggest critics of the judiciary when it comes to the way they conduct themselves. But in the election tribunals, I have nothing but praise for these guys, because when they give their judgments these days, you can read them. If you read Toby Ebiowe's judgment in the case of Kashamu, you have no choice but to stand up and give him a high five. He did a thorough job. If you read the judgment in Akpabio's case, all right? See, now if the lawyers don't prove their case, there is nothing for the judge to do. Akpabio's case is a good example. They had all these allegations and all this noise they were making against him. But when they got to the tribunal, 3 witnesses of the APC came there and contradicted their own statements. What is the judge going to do? Now, whether they've been compromised or not, I don't know. And I don't make judgments on that. But when a man wrote a statement and said there was no election, then when it came to cross-examination and said, oh, I relied on third parties. There were elections. I was a participant in the election. That's what happened in Akpabio's case. So will you quarrel with the judge reinforcing or confirming his election? No, I won't. So for me, we have been uncharitable to our judges these days. I've seen some of them, Onigbanjo, Toby Ebiowe, and I forgot his name, the judge in Akpabio's case. They did because I took time to read their judgments. All right? They were sound. They were legal. They were legal based. Now, what happens before the witnesses come to stand is that's anybody's guess. Of course, we all have all this what I call social media rumor mongering. I'm a big social media player, but I've seen that anybody can get on social media and make a claim. This one has been given 100 million. This one has been given 200 million. Nobody has come with this evidence. So to that extent, it would be wrong to blame the lawyers. Yes, we are not happy that Jonathan didn't go to the tribunal because we'll have made a lot of money. That's our job, to make money. But the point is, our electoral process has improved tremendously, and our judges, with all due respect to them, many of them are totally sound. Now, I'm not saying there are no corrupt judges, but from what I've seen, those guys are awesome.
Okay, what do you have to say about some people who think if it's party A that is in power, it will seem that every petition against the candidates of that party will sail through? It will seem like that.
It's not like that. Even now, I will even think the net loss right now in the Senate contest is against APC. See, the other judgments, for instance, Kashamu's case.
Overall.
Yes. So overall, I think we've never had it this good, because APC is losing, PDP is losing. There is no pattern to say, oh, the judges are going in the direction of the ruling party. That's not true. Even if you want to look at it, if you were to take let me use some specific example because judgments have been given. In Kashamu's case, the judge, Justice Toby did not remove him as a senator. He said they should conduct election 110 polling units. In the case of Kogi State, they removed the APC guy and put the PDP guy. All right? And that is in an APC government. So it's unfair to say that it goes the way of the ruling party. I think this particular one, it's not done like that. It's been right and left. It's been right and left. And most times, it is difficult, except if for most people who do all this sentimental talk, they didn't read the judgment. It's difficult to fault any judgment so far. You could fault the lawyers they brought, the lawyers and the evidence they adduced, but the judgment given based on evidence before these judges, it is difficult for me to say, this judge was compromised. I could say witnesses have been compromised. And some of them have not been jailed. They should have, because those guys in Akpabio's case, those APC witnesses who came in and recanted their sworn affidavits, I did not hear that they were put in jail for suborning perjury. They were put in jail. Yeah. Yes, if they had done that, maybe that would also scare some of the witnesses. They give you money, you know you're going to jail. All right, so that part of it, our government needs to tidy up the criminal prosecution of those who come under oath to lie. Like those 3 witnesses for APC, I could bet they lied. I don't know if they gave them money, but if you swore an affidavit that there was no election, that there was violence and all that, and then you come under oath again and say, oh no, it didn't happen like that, you should be leaving that place in handcuffs. All right, when you do that, but people will be scared to come and lie. But don't put that blame on the judge. The judge has got to deliver judgment based on what is before him.
Okay, Mr. Toyo, you are a politician, and sometimes you see that petitioners lose their cases, and perhaps owing to the standard of proof that they have to provide to say these irregularities are strong enough to obtain the election. Would you say that this burden of proof is too heavy on the politicians, or on the petitioners, sorry?